You're listening to Ask When, the podcast. Folks from all walks of life talk about their daily hustle and bustle, living and celebrating life, sharing tips on becoming champions, especially for those who are muscling mental and physical disabilities. Ask When, the podcast, with your host, who has mustered over 30 years living with cerebral palsy and going strong, author and cerebral palsy advocate Wynn Charles. Ask When, the podcast starts right now.
Welcome to Ask When, everyone. Today I have Sonya with me, and so I'm going to let Sonya take it away and explain more about the story.
Hi, thank you for having me on, Wynn. My name is Sonya Etchemendy, and I wrote a recent international bestseller called Living a Life of Tin Can Moments. And the first question I always get is, what is a tin can moment? Well, it's actually an action. It's a positive action that someone takes when they're in a negative situation. And it's about having a good attitude, having a strong faith, and being able to overcome any negative obstacle that you have in your way. And so as I started writing my book, I thought it was going to be about notes that my husband and I write to each other in an old tin can. And what I ended up finding, Wynn, is that there is a groundswell of people who are tired of the negative and who want to focus on the positive. And they have used a formula that I discovered through listening to their stories and to thinking back on my life. And that formula is this: if you have a positive attitude and a strong faith, you can overcome any obstacle. And so then we start with the attitude. Well, how do you do that? And I offer different ways in my book so people can choose their attitude. You know, our attitude is the only thing that we are 100% responsible for. Nobody can choose our attitude. And then our faith. I'm a woman of God. I believe in God. I believe that we're here for a purpose. And as long as that faith is kept strong with a good attitude, you can overcome anything. I am currently living with stage 4 bone marrow cancer. And no one can give me my expiration date because I believe in God, and I believe that only He knows when my expiration date's going to be. And I have a lot to do on my journey. So I wanted to share with you, Wynn, that while I was writing my book, a lot of people suggested that I develop special tin cans. For an example, I have tin cans in our local school district for children to focus on positive things every day. And during a rating period, like a 9-week rating period, the students take those notes home to their parents and they share those notes with their parents. Because they have been conditioned to select a positive attitude every day, it affected their behavior. And so the school has hard data that shows where the behavior was measured before they started the Tin Can Moment process. And then at the end of that rating period, it was a substantial improvement in behavior across the board for the students. So I'll share this with you because I received more requests for our Christmas can and now our Mother's Day can. And I was overwhelmed because my husband and I live by ourselves and we're older. I'm 69. And so there's just so much we can do physically. And I was looking for help. And someone suggested our local Pathfinders. Now, are you familiar with Pathfinders? I bet you are.
I am. I've used them previously. I did not know until today. I thought that it was up here. It's like up here being in Aspen, Colorado. I did not know that Pathfinders was a national thing. Pathfinders is used for people being affected by cancer and loved ones being affected by cancer. And it's so funny, Sonia, that you mentioned stage 4 bone cancer, because I lost my dad in May to stage 4 lung cancer.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
Well, thank you, but I almost used Pathfinder myself. So the fact that they are a national thing, and I'm friends with the director up at all local Pathfinders up here, so I may bring her on this podcast to you guys to share her story, because her story is unbelievable. And
Our director here, Deborah Rogers, I honestly had never heard of Pathfinders, and I didn't reach out to Pathfinders to have it had nothing to do with my cancer. I needed help putting cans together and creating the cans. And so someone locally asked me if I had heard of Pathfinders, and I had not. And they said they deliver a service to our community, and you should go check it out. So I contacted Deborah and I toured the facility. And when I have to tell you, see, I don't have anyone in my life that deals with like what you deal with, cerebral palsy. I don't have anyone in my life that has any kind of intellectual disability or spina bifida or autism or epilepsy, Down syndrome, none of those things do I have in anyone in my life. So when I went to Pathfinders and I met all of these incredible people who have been diagnosed with all of those conditions that I just mentioned, I was amazed at how they wanted to help. They just wanted to help. And so what I ended up doing was taking my entire project to Pathfinders. And I think they have 500 people at this location here in Jacksonville, Arkansas. And I met them with all of those conditions, spina bifida, cerebral palsy, autism, epilepsy, Down syndrome. And I don't think, honestly, I ever met a group who consistently wanted and desired to deliver to deliver a quality product.
Yeah.
So when I left there, and I was assured that they would deliver a great product, what they delivered to me was of the highest quality of anything. I mean, listen, I'm retired from the government. I own my own business. I've used a lot of services. But if people don't understand that just because I have stage 4 cancer doesn't mean I can't still live out my purpose. And in that same respect, just because someone has been diagnosed with one of these conditions doesn't mean that they cannot perform, not only perform, but perform at a very high quality level. I was amazed at what I received back from them. The quality control was perfect, absolutely perfect. So I wanted to say hats off to you because I have seen you might have to try harder than someone that hasn't been diagnosed with what you have or what those other people have. I would assume you have to try harder than we do.
Yeah,
And
I do.
and when you think about that and you think about trying harder, you can deliver a higher quality of product than other people who are not dealing with it. So that's why I wanted to share this with you today. When people like me who are not familiar with these type diagnoses don't understand that that doesn't limit that person unless that person has the attitude that they want it to limit them. You, Gwen, have a very positive attitude. And so you've taken your condition and you've used it to help people. Whether you realize it or not, you show people that, yes, I've got this condition, but guess what? I can have a podcast, a radio show, I can interview people, And I just want to say thank you for showing up as the real you, the authentic you.
God knows I try, people. God knows I try to show up. God knows I try, but um, you're welcome, Sonia, and you're welcome to all my listeners out there. Now, Sonia, if you had to move house and only take 5 things with you, what would they be and why? And yes, your husband can come. I'm not excluding your husband from the 5 things.
Well, then you must know me and my husband because I don't go anywhere without him. So, okay, so I don't have to count husbands or grandchildren or anything like that.
Don't count the husband or grandchildren. No,
These are just hardcore things, right?
these are just hardcore things.
I would, without a doubt, take my Bible, and I would have to take my John Maxwell Bible with it because John Maxwell has written a Bible in several different interpretations. The New King James, the NIV, the NAB. He's written it, and what he does is he applies each chapter and verse to our everyday life. So it helps me when I'm interpreting my own Bible. So I take those two things, and I've got 5, right?
Yep.
Oh gosh, can I take my dog? Because
Yep.
I'll have my husband.
Yep. Back to the
Okay,
animals, the people.
yeah, I've got my dogs then. I'd probably have to take a lot of bottled water with me because I drink a lot of water. Um, and oh gosh, 5 things. I'd probably have to take family photos. I've got the old fashioned family photos, so I'd have to take those. And I'm assuming I've got my cell phone in my pocket, so I could just slip it with me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting that you say that. A lot of times, and I've just asked this to my fan base recently. A lot, a lot of times they forget to take their family and animals with them. I'm like, ay, you guys.
Well, what would you take with you, Wen?
Well, I see now. I get this question turned back on me. I, I would definitely have to take the family that I do have, which happens to be my step family. My step family has been helping me out since May. They've been helping me out for the past 9 years, actually, but really, truly, they kicked it into high gear since May. I would have to take a friend of mine who is who is my aide slash was my aide because I can't do it without some sort of people power. I would have to take my laptop and I would have to take, like everyone else, my cell phone just because of communications reasons. So those will be the things if I was moving, I would definitely have to take.
Good choices. Good choices.
And so, Sonia, if your best friend was going to write a book, what about you? What would the title be?
Oh, it would probably be She Never Said No. And
Never say no.
I'll tell you why. I look back on my life. I think I told you I'm 69 years old, so I've had a nice long life, and I have no regrets. Honestly, I don't have I made mistakes? Absolutely. But I never said no in that anything presented to me to try, scuba diving or any of that kind of stuff, I would do it. I've tried everything put before me, and some of them have been life changing. Some of them were huge mistakes, but I don't really call them mistakes. I call them credentials in my toolbox because I always learn. but I think it's that I never say no. So yeah, that's what they would call it. She never said no.
She never said no. And
Hmm.
what is your favorite book and what is the title?
Oh, the Bible. It's the best book ever written. Um, I I wake up every morning and at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'm on a Bible study group. And I've been doing that consistently since October 1st. So it's become part of my day. And we study a verse, chapter verse, every single morning and how it applies to our life. So I've read a lot of great books. There are incredible authors out there. I've learned a lot of leadership, speaking skills, coaching skills, but I don't think collectively there's been one book that's affected every element of my life like the Bible has.
Yep.
So it would have to be the Bible.
And so would you share your with my fan base slash your new fan base, by the way, um, your morning routine?
Oh, it's funny you asked that question because my routine changed 2 days ago. I had a routine for months and months and months. You get to a point, it's easy to get into a rut. It's very easy to say, oh gosh, I have to do this again today. Or you get lazy and you think, I don't want to do anything. And with the virus going around, it's real easy to get complacent and you don't have to go anywhere. So I think I was getting into a little bit of a slump. And on one of my Bible study calls, and from that, I got onto a personal growth course online of the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. It's taught by Melanie Ake, who is an expert at it. And I learned something in that if you don't grow, and if you decide to give up on yourself, then you're actually giving up on your dreams. And that if we and I was getting a little scared about the next steps that I was going to have to take with Tin Can Moments. Sometimes success can be scary, and I was starting to show a little fear. But in this course I'm taking, I've learned that if you feed your faith, it will starve your fear. And that's exactly what happened. So I was asked to find one thing I could do to change up my day. And I decided to set office hours. I've never had office hours. I've been retired since 2004. It's a long time ago. And so I'm just open all the time. Well, I decided to set office hours this week. And so this is like my second day. And it's wonderful. I'm open a certain time of day. So that gives me permission to, after my Bible study call, I've got permission from myself to do whatever I want. I can watch TV, I can read a book, I can take a walk, can do whatever I do because I don't open till 1 o'clock. And then when 1 o'clock happens, I'm up here in my office with the doors closed and I'm at work. I'm at work right now with you. And so it's added a piece of structure to my day that was really needed. So, had you asked me last week what my average day was, it would have been a totally different answer. So, that's what I do. What do you do?
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Well, my as I said to fan yesterday, my my morning routine is this. My and I'm trying to change it up, you guys. I am so trying to change it up because uh, right now with the virus going on, the news is so consumed by the negative end of the coronavirus. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm trying to change it up. And so, but typically my morning routine, I get up at 6:30. I turn on, well, my voice turns on my Amazon smart speaker, and I say the wake word, and I say a specialized command to that, and she goes she goes into the news, which I have got to I have got to stop you guys because her going into the news is not helpful right now. And so what I think I'm going to do is listen to one piece of the news, which is actually a podcast called The Newsworthy. Get what I need to get out of that, and then listen to music because right now the news is so depressing to the point of, ugh, do we have
It
to do
is,
this
it
again?
is depressing, and I, it is so depressing. I want to tell you, I wish I could pull his name out of my head. I'll text you later if I can find his name. But there's a young man who's now on YouTube, and he's calling his show Only Good News. And he does it every day. And he just tells people about good news that he knows about, that he hears about. And it's such a pleasant thing to listen to. So we do have choices out there. We can turn off that news and put on the music or find people that are doing good things. I'm going to be starting my podcast next month. And I'm going to be on the podcast every single day talking to people about the good things going on in their life. I think people need that. They want it. Well, I know they need it. And let's hope they know they want it. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're so right about the negativity surrounding all the talk about
Oh,
the
yeah,
virus.
the negativity. So I am in the camp of Sonia. I am switching up my morning routine. I'm only taking a dose of the news that I can trust. And this is actually a podcast called The Newsworthy by Etchemendy. And so, guys, go listen to it. She does the news about coronavirus, and then she does positive news, and then Work Wednesday, and then Feel Good Friday, and all that good stuff. But I
Oh,
think I'm
I like
going
that.
to
It's called
do
the Newsworthy.
the newsworthy, yes,
And what
by
is her name?
Erica
Erica.
Mandy, and it's called The Newsworthy. And Erica Mandy was a former journalist, so she knows what's going on. But
Wow.
she does it in a way that it's quick, it's decisive, it doesn't go on and on and on. And
Wow.
then I'm going to play music off the Amazon smart speaker because I need to. I'm getting to the point where I can't do it. I can't focus on it. I can't do it. So yes.
Well,
So if you
good for
guys,
you for being aware of that.
well, I woke up this morning and being aware of it. I said, I said to my Amazon smart speaker, the wake one, and then I said the special command, and she went in to the news of the day, and then I'm like, oh, this is not great. This is, I start out with good news, and then go to the newsworthy, and then go filter through my news. And by the time I got to the end of it, I'm still laying in bed and I didn't want to do anything. I'm like, this is not good. And so for me to get up and get motivated to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed by 7:30, 8 a.m., by the time my aides walk in the door, I can't do the news anymore. I cannot do the news until this whole thing is over, if at all, because it's just too much.
It is, and you've shared a real gold nugget with me and everybody listening about Erica Mandy and the Newsworthy. I had not heard of that. I'm going to look that
And
up when we
a lot of
hang up.
people haven't. And so, Sonia, do you have any more questions for me?
Um, I would like to know where people can find you, because when I had never met you, I had never heard of you until you and I both did the Rise Up Summit, Youth Summit, and you and I both were speakers on that. And that's when I met you, and I thought, where has she been all my life? So I want to
Where
hook
have
up with you.
I like, okay.
How
Well,
people find
people can find me on my website, askwin.webelize.com, and just Google Ask Win. And I am pretty much everywhere except I'm locking down my Facebook right now because I'm getting all these weird friend requests and we don't want to go there. But I am pretty much everywhere, pretty accessible. And so that is where people can find me. And yeah, people can subscribe to this podcast, obviously. And
Mhm.
next month, when Sonia's podcast comes out, you people need to subscribe because for uh it takes some bravery to do a podcast. So next month, Sonia is going to have a podcast of her own, and you people need to subscribe.
Oh, thank you, Wen. And it'll be called Tin Can Moments.
Tin Can,
So,
Tin Can
Tin
Moment,
Can Moment. Hmm.
yes. And so I hope you guys enjoyed another fabulous episode of Ask When. I certainly did. Now, Sonia, where can people find you?
They can find me. My email address is Sonya, Sonya, at etchyourlife.com. Etch as in etch a sketch, ETCH, yourlife.com. That's my email. And if you want to check out the Tin Can Moment website, it's www.tincanmoments with an S, it's plural.com. And you can reach me through that website too. Thank you for asking, Wen.
And now, thank you for coming on and sharing your story. And you guys,
You
stay
had me. Thank you so much, Wen.
well. You're welcome. And stay stay happy, stay healthy, and we'll make it through this, you guys, with positive attitudes. And if I'm making it through it with a disability, you guys can too. And
Absolutely.
support those with cancer, support those who are physically disabled. You guys know my drill. Disabilities is number one, and so support those in need right now. And I know that a lot of people lost their jobs, but if you
Mhm.
can't give those people a job, I would be forever grateful if those people came back to me and said, I gave this person a job who's disabled or in the midst of losing their jobs because people really need a hand up right now. They don't necessarily need a hand out, they need a hand up.
Right.
And what I am concerned about is age discrimination. I'm more
Hmm.
about that more than ever. So if you know someone who's out of a job, say, look, you can come work for me and be that equal opportunity employment. We call that equal opportunity employment in the disabled realm and just help people out.
Right. I noticed that you have a lot of books on Amazon. I looked you up on Amazon and I was so surprised at how many books you have. People could help you just by buying your books. And so I wanted you to recommend one of those books to me because I couldn't decide which one to order.
Oh, jeez. Here
I'm
we go.
serious.
The View from My Hills, which is my fictional novel. And Leslie, you guys want to do a deep dive on Sarah Colby, be my guest. But The View from My Hills, which is my fictional novel, book number 1, and it's all about characters with disabilities, and it's quite fun. That after my I wrote that after I come a win because I needed a break from cerebral palsy, and I'm actually working on my 10th book as we speak. That's soon to come out because it's about suicide and the awareness about suicide through the
Mhm.
lens of Kate Spade in a handbag and all that good stuff. So I'm working on that, and so you guys can go pick and choose from my novels and pick and choose from my common win. But at this point, I think we stay away from learning about cerebral palsy unless you guys want to pull out the tissue box. I think
You're
we
right.
stay
Y-
from cerebral
You've
palsy.
let me know. You've let me know which one I'm going to order. Then
Yep.
I'm going to order your
So,
fictional
yep.
novel.
So
Sure.
I will catch you guys later. And thanks so much, Sonia, for coming on. And I
Thank
hope you
you,
guys
Lynn.
enjoyed another episode of Ask When. Thanks, you guys. Bye.
Bye.
You just listened to Ask Win, the podcast. To become a guest in the show, visit our website at askwin.weebly.com or call 816-591-3399. Just look for Danielle. Connect with Win on Twitter at Win Kelly Charles and like our Facebook page at Butterflies of Wisdom. You can also purchase Win's book through Amazon.com or get a copy of the audiobook through Audible. Ask Win, the podcast.